Thanks, Milan. It brings back very fond memories. I can remember swinging off spanners, putting together the plumbing on the Biox plant there about 35 years ago. But to the next endeavour, having left gold behind, Lithium Australia is all about delivering to the battery industry ethical and sustainable solutions to the problems they have, and there are plenty of problems to talk about. The company has four major business divisions. There's the raw materials division, which includes resources and exploration spread around the globe. Lithium chemical industry, which is to a large extent designed to process the materials that are either too hard or other people don't want to process. Batteries, where we're currently producing cathode powders, cathodes, batteries, importing batteries and selling the same into the Australian energy storage market. And when those things go past their use-by date, recycling the batteries themselves. So we've developed a range of processing technologies that do that. So what are the investment opportunities in Lithium Australia? Quite clearly there's the opportunity to buy into the listed vehicle that's listed on the ASX. Direct project investment in some of the projects that we have, including the extraction technology, next generation of high charge rate batteries, which is a fascinating field and something that we all need, exploration assets, and then potential to get involved in some of the demergers. And we have EnviroStream, which is our recycling arm, ready for IPO, and VSPC in China, which is currently producing batteries, not for sale, but for test purposes, package that up and demerge that entity. I want to talk a little bit about the profligate waste in the industry, and it starts off with the spodumene producers that routinely pump about 40% of the lithium value to tailings, and then the batteries, which globally are only recovered to the extent of about 9%. So look, we'll start with the lithium chemicals, and there's a little plan that shows you what people considered to be the appropriate recoveries in their feasibility studies and what they're actually achieving. This is courtesy of Roskill. I take some of the numbers to task in that some of the companies aren't even performing as well as you see there. Some of them, in fact, have current recoveries less than 50%. Now, there's a reason behind that. Most of that material is fine or contaminated. Fine material you can't make a commercial product out of, simply because it won't run through the processing stream that's available at the converters in China. But what we've done is developed a process which doesn't require roasting. It's a hydrometallurgical process, thrives on fine spodumene and contaminated spodumene. It's not rocket science. It's a lot like the production of alumina. We will be building a pilot plant to test that later this year. Recycling division, which is the other area that we have an enormous amount of waste. And I mentioned the figure globally of 9%, heavily weighted towards China and a couple of European countries, Switzerland and Norway, that get up around 40 and 50% recovery. The rest of it, in Australia, recoveries are less than 3%. Here in Africa, approximately zero. So I think there's a great opportunity here and something that we can all do for the environment by collecting those batteries, processing the materials and getting them back into the supply chain. To do that, we recently acquired 90% of a recycling business based in Melbourne, EnviroStream, which last year processed 149 tonnes of batteries for a revenue of 1.3 million. So it's a reasonably lucrative business, even on a small scale. We have, since taking over that company, put in place offtake agreements with SiLeach, amongst others, one of the largest recyclers of lithium-ion batteries on a global basis. We've partnership with a lot of OEMs and retailers, including the likes of LG Chem and retailers in the Australian market that you probably wouldn't recognise, but and we are trialling batteries from the likes of Tesla and other automotive producers. We've relocated the plant, we've changed the circuitry a bit, we've upgraded the feed capacity, which gives us the opportunity of taking a lot more material that's on the market. And it's interesting to see that that plant at the moment recovers by mass about 94%. Our nearest competitor globally is only 65. The difference between 90 and 65, I've got to say, is mainly plastic, because most of the companies recycling batteries throw them in a furnace for starters, and that's it. They blow off all of the hydrocarbons in the solvent, plastics burn, and you volatilise all the lithium. We are actually recovering all of the metals, all of the plastic. So we've taken that one step further, and using the technologies that we've developed, we've taken those recycled materials and we've actually rebirthed new lithium-ion batteries out of them. So this is all about closing the loop. And I think EnviroStream has vindicated the collection model. It's pretty interesting. I gave a presentation in London about 12 months ago, and I presented the recovery data that you see there, which is the metallurgical extractions. And after the presentation, we were doing that by solvent extraction at the time. After the presentation, a little Japanese guy ran up to me and said, "Hey, we've done all the same things and we got exactly the same results." Well, one would always hope that's the case, of course, but not rocket science. This is just base metal extraction technology. And he said, "But what we haven't figured out is how you collect the batteries." That's why we bought EnviroStream. It's a little bit like Gillette. We like the product so much we bought the company. So we've rolled out the collection in Victoria. We're going to do that nationally. There are opportunities for international franchises doing that and processing some of the material we've successfully processed using hydromet processes, and that flow sheet is pretty close to completed. And we've done something fairly unique in the industry. We're precipitating from that and other processes lithium phosphate rather than hydroxide or carbonate. On the Chinese market, that actually achieves a very significant premium to hydroxide, but it's great feed for making LFP batteries, and we just love LFP batteries. That business we're going to spin out, and the IPO is planned for later this year. On the battery front, there's our pilot plant in Brisbane, currently producing cathode powders, exporting to China. So it's an Australian material, uses very, very simple nanotechnology, and as I mentioned, ideally suited to the production of LFP cathode powders. That material has been on test in China and Japan. We're currently making commercial 18650 cells in China for testing purposes and have arrangements to commercialise that over the next couple of years. Here's how it's done. It's really simple. You just mix up the reagents or the ionic composition in the right ratio. You hit the solution with a surfactant, heat treat it, and that's it, you're done. Very, very simple, terrific quality control. Great from a point of view of controlling both size and the chemical composition of that cathode powder. In fact, it's unsurpassed on a global basis. So we are preparing that business for spin out. We have DLG Batteries as a major partner. We've got a partnership with SDL, which will produce cathode powders that will ultimately be sold into DLG, and we have technical alliances with a number of other parties developing cathode materials in China and of course in Australia as well at our own facility there. Potential product sales commence into Japan in 2021. So conclusion, what have we got for investors? We've got very broad exposure to the battery industry by investing in the holding company. We've got cornerstone positions and, for that matter, public subscriptions available in the float of EnviroStream. We've got investment opportunities in the next generation batteries, and in fact we're working on design and manufacture of a battery for public transportation purposes and hope to achieve full charge, or from zero charge to full charge, in 4 minutes, which gets rid of some of the range anxiety problems that you people with a Tesla probably suffer from. There are also partnerships available for the extraction technologies. There's the structure of the company as it sits today, and if you look at the bits and pieces we're spinning out, which are the bits still coloured, we'll be streamlining the exploration assets, spinning out some of the chemical division, some of the battery division, floating EnviroStream, and if anyone wants to buy a tin lithium mine in Germany, it's for sale. So that's the Lithium Australia story. Plenty of opportunities, plenty of things to do, and it's all about developing and delivering sustainable opportunities for the battery industry. I've got 7 seconds left to burn. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.